Good morning. This is for my Math 141 class, spring 2018. Whether you're in my online course or my face-to-face course that meets on Fridays, of course you're both welcome, you're all welcome to come to the class. Hopefully you've been keeping up with the instructional videos that have been posted from class. But what I've found in looking over the gradebook that some of you are a little more behind than I would advise for being at this time. Let's put it that way. Where you should be is 320 points. That's 8 units that we've already covered, completely covered. We actually got into Unit 9 this week, but I'm not counting that yet. 8 times 40, 320 points. So those are what's on the table. Of course, there's also some extra credit that you could have accumulated, and so it's not too difficult to have much more than the 320. In fact, a couple students have already done their final projects, and one student already has a C locked in the course. If she did nothing more, she would still have a C in the course. That's great progress. So that's the possibility. Now let's say you're a student who doesn't have 320 points. This is the opportunity for you, especially, opportunity for everybody. I'm introducing a new program. I'm going to call it the 2-2-200 Club. 2-2-200. And here's how it works. In the next 2 weeks, starting today, 2 weeks, what I'm going to require of you is, first of all, for everyone to be active in the course for the last 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks I will check, and you must be active in the course within that last 2 weeks. Within the next 2 weeks, I'm going to let the past be the past, the bygones be bygones. But if you can just be active in the next 2 weeks, this is going to open up an opportunity for you. Where does the 200 come in? Well, in the next 2 weeks, I want to see everyone get their score, their class points, up to at least 200 points. Now that's actually a little bit below 70%, but here's the deal. Once you get to the 200, I'm going to give you 40 points. Now those of you who already are in the 2-2-200 club, that you've already got over the 200, you've already got those 40 points. What I decided to do is one of the units we're doing, which is this last one on linear, is not on the final exam. It's actually not in the course competencies. We teach it because it does help with some of the other units, but since it's not directly in the course competencies, I decided to make it extra credit. And the way I do that is to give everybody the 40 points. But you have to be engaged in the course. You need 200 points to get those extra credit. And I don't like the heavy-handed thing, but let me put it this way. If you aren't active in the next 2 weeks, it's very unlikely you'll be able to finish the course, especially if you haven't been active for a long time. And if you're below the 200, it just puts all that much more pressure. So yes, I'm applying a little bit of pressure now to get you active, to get you to 200 points. Let's see, 200 divided by 5. That's 5 chapters. So if you had 0 points, that's 5 chapters. Of course, there's a few extra credit possibilities that are still open that could help you get there. And in fact, by the end of this weekend, I'm going to introduce another extra credit unit on Mayan mathematics that is a great way to get some extra credit. You'll view some videos on Mayan mathematics. You'll write a little paper on it, and you can earn alternate credit, 40 points basically, one other unit. So with all these opportunities, I want a minimum of 200 points. And what I hope is that those of you who are significantly below the 200 points right now will take this opportunity to get active in the course over the next 2 weeks and succeed in the end, because that's my concern. I want you to have at least the 700 points needed for a C. And again, already one of our students has already gotten there. And we still have a good 5 weeks or so left, right? So these next 2 weeks, 200. I want to show you the resources I'm providing to help you get there. Okay, and just spell it out in this video. I'm going to give everybody an email link to this. I'm going to go both through Canvas and MathAS, so I know everyone's signed up there. One way or another, you're going to get an email with a link to this video. Hopefully you're watching it, and if you're not, well, you don't know about what I'm talking. So here we go. Let's come over to this screen. Okay, so this is our MathAS course. You should be working through each of the chapters. So Unit 1, Chapter 8. Many of you, in fact, the majority, have gotten through this. Maybe a few of you haven't. You'll want to, wherever you need to work, you work. I'm starting to update these folders. I'm going to show you what I've done. So I'm going to go to Unit 5, Chapter 12, the normal distribution, just to highlight the points available and the resources available. So first of all, there's this beginning of the learning objectives. It tells you what you're going to learn. I'm going to come down in the folder a little bit to try to reveal all the parts that you really need to go through. Almost there. Let's see. Just a little bit more. Okay, so that's really all the resources. So I'm going to keep it there, and then I'm going to make some comments here. So here is our textbook. What are you supposed to do with the textbook? Read. Now, I've worked with some students, and they say, well, yeah, it's 23 pages, 50 pages. But you've got to look it over. This is our introduction to college-level learning, which involves looking and researching things through the written page. Videos are great, and I'll get to that in a moment. They're a great resource that we have available to us now. But books provide information in a way that allows you to learn just about anything from anywhere. So I highly recommend. It's got an answer key in there. It's got the practice problems, which are going to relate to the instructional videos down here. So please do at least click on this, review the textbook, read it by scanning over it, looking the boxes. You don't read it like a novel. That's not how you read math books, but you do refer back and forth to it. In fact, if you have a tablet or a smartphone, it might be good to download this PDF so that you can have a separate device to read it on while you're working through the homework, just like a book. You can also get a printed version of this in the bookstore. It's, I don't know, $20, something like that, but it'd be a good investment. Secondly, what I started to post, which have not been here before, so you may have looked at these, but you wouldn't have seen these. I'm going to start putting the direct link to the live class, or the class live stream. So these were the instructional videos. These are the videos I made of class. Again, your feedback on them, if they're not that great of quality, let me know. Let me know if the sound is good or not. Let me know how I can improve them. If they are helpful, also let me know that. But again, at a minimum, they are about an hour, hour and a half, because they are a recording of the class. You should have already been watching these, but if not, here they're going to be right in the MathAS. Okay, watch the video all the way through. We'll work through some practice problems. We get the overview. Speaking of practice problems, right below there is what I call the instructional videos, and this is me working through the practice problems that are contained in the textbook. Now, I don't work through all of them. Sometimes I do, I guess, maybe, but each chapter was a little different. I was making these last summer while I was teaching the course, so but they should help you see how to work through a variety of the problems. Many of the problems, if not all of them, are contained in the MathAS homework, which we'll be getting to in a moment. That's the way you're going to earn the points. Okay, so far no points, but this is how you learn the lesson. Then I usually, if there was a class PowerPoint, it's included here. So this is a PowerPoint. and you can pull it up and take notes from it, copying whatever you need to do. Some of them have a second problem-solving PowerPoint. Sometimes I use those in class, sometimes not. The way I addressed it was mostly through the instructional videos. So this is sort of an extra resource that may or may not be helpful. Here's something that you probably, when you get to starting the homework, you want to open this first. Anything that says calculator. It's an online link to a resource that will calculate normal distribution items for you. Okay, so use it. I believe in the class live stream I've used it. I've shown you how to do it. So that's there. Reading quiz. Here's your opportunity to gain extra credit points of up to 3. 3 extra credit. Extra points. You need to get about, I fudge on it a little bit, I think about 70%, maybe it's 65, but get 70% of the reading quiz points and you'll get 3 extra credit points. It's not required. If you don't do it, you don't lose anything. You haven't given up points, but it's helpful. Okay. Here's the main part of the thing. Here's where you can earn up to 25 points, actually more, but I'll show you that. It's slated for 25 points. So your first goal when working the homework is to get to 70%. When you get to 70%, that opens up the chapter test. Okay, so now your chapter test is available to you, and you've been awarded 18 points, 18 of the 25 points. The goal is that you're going to continue working, not stop at 70, but 70's justifiable. But if you keep on going and you get yourself to 85%, that's when you're going to have the full 25 points. Okay. But if that's not enough for you, just keep going. Just keep going until you get to, where is it? Get to 90%, 91%, 90%. We'll call it 90%. Get to 90%. And I'll add in, I think, what is it, 2 extra credit points. If it's not, I'll change it. But I believe it's 2 extra credit points. Two extra credit points. Okay? I'll get you to 27. Plus these extra credit up here. So you can see there's 5 extra credit point there just by pushing yourself. And again, it's not that much more. Sometimes it might be only 1 or 2 more questions that you need to do if you've got a 5-pointer to get you up over into that extra. But you know, you want to stop at 85, that's fine. And then the chapter tests. What those chapter tests are is, you know, you hear the word test and maybe maybe that gets you a little concerned. But what the chapter tests are is they are just the homework problems revisited. So if you've done all the homework problems, you will have done all the test problems as well. So that's why it's good to keep notes as you work through the homework. I see some of you, when you work, you just, because it's online, it's in the screen, you fill in the blanks and you're done. You're not writing anything down. I guess that's okay, but when you come to the test, then you have nothing back to refer back to. So if you do write things down, the notes of what the questions were, how you solved them, when you come to the chapter test, you just refer back to your notes and you've got everything solved already. All that happens is there's different numbers in there that make the problem slightly different. You have to recalculate again. And you get 1 attempt before the answer is either marked right or wrong. If it's wrong, you can attempt a similar problem. If it's right, you're good. Okay? So again, there's various points depending upon what you do, but you can earn up to 15 points here. 15 points for reaching 85% of the score. And I think they're all out of 50 points, so you can do the math on that one, figure out how many points you need. But again, I like extra credit. You push it, you get to the 90% or above group, and you'll get 1 point of extra credit. So you can get up to 6 points of extra credit for each unit, and there's those other opportunities I talked about, but you really need the meat and potatoes, and the main part of this course is working through these units. It's great that you're coming to class, it's great that you're watching the videos, but this is how you progress through the course. We will then also have the final project, which I talked about in this last class. Unfortunately, the live stream kind of filtered out on us, but I'll post what I do have. And we did have someone present in class again. There was one earlier. The final project, 4 to 6 minute presentation on a topic, any topic that you relate back to mathematics. That's the important part. You have to show how math is used, discuss how it's used. You don't have to bust out equations or calculations, but you have to explain how mathematics was used, and sometimes how an item helped develop mathematics. History, geometry, art, music, anything in life, design, driving a car, building a car, all these things involve mathematics. So you explain how it is. Find something that you enjoy doing and tell us how math is involved. That's half of the project. The other half is you're going to write a paper on the same topic. It's just a written version. So you're going to communicate mathematics to us, how mathematics is used in a topic. You're going to communicate to us orally and in writing, 2 ways. The paper, the details have been emailed out. They're in that announcement, but I think it's like a 2 to 3 page paper, double-spaced. Read the details, follow along. The oral presentation can be submitted online. You can make a video, just like I'm doing here. 4 to 6 minute video, post it to YouTube if you want. There's other resources. There's something called Powtoon. There are some examples in Canvas towards the end. Go into the modules, down to the bottom. You'll see the examples from previous semesters of what other students have done. They hopefully will give you some ideas. But take a video, 4 to 6 minutes, explain the math, upload it, I'll watch it, we'll get you the points. Submit a paper. It can all be done online. Upload the paper, you've got that part done. That's 250 points, 125 each. Okay. And then finally, the last thing we have is a final exam. But if you do everything else, you're going to be up in the 800 points. That's a solid B before the final even gets taken. You need a few, oftentimes you need less than 100 points on the final. The final is 225. So the final is not going to knock anybody out of getting a passing grade, certainly. And you can even get an A in the class without having to do fantastic on the final. So don't let the final scare you. It's not that bad. In a little bit, I'll release a video where I work through the practice problems for the final, and I'll post those and get those to you. I'm holding off a little bit because I want you to focus on these units. Just keep going through them. They're what we need you to do. The final will just kind of be that little cherry on the top that helps you go from a B to an A without being a math expert, because that's not our goal. Our goal is not to make you experts in mathematics, but to make you proficient, to make you literate in how mathematics is used to make decisions in everyday life, so that as you go on in your academic career and your job career and your life career, that you're able to understand how mathematics is used. And when you run into a situation that needs mathematics, you're either going to be able to do it on your own, or you're going to be able to know who to ask, or that there is somebody that you can ask to help solve your problems, help you make the decisions with mathematics I don't know if you can find them in the yellow pages, but you'll be able to find someone. Call me up. I can possibly help. And I've had students do that with buying a car or something. They contact me 2 semesters later and they said, I remember you talking about math helping out. Well, here's my situation. They give me the numbers and I'll get back to them and give them a mathematical perspective on their decision that they need to make. Okay, so keep progressing. 2 weeks. Everybody be active within the 2 weeks. And everybody, please, can you get to 200 points? Get me there, get us all there, and we're going to all be successful. Doing that gets you 40 extra credit points. And again, if you've already gotten there, you've got your 40 points. Maybe reach out your hand if you know someone else in the class that's struggling. Give them a little assistance. Let's help one another so that all of us can succeed. All of us can keep moving forward and learn how to use math in our everyday lives. Thanks. Keep in touch. Let's keep moving forward.